Good evening, wrestling fans of all ages. We hope you enjoyed your first day of spring with record-setting temperatures in the St. Louis area. Tonight, we take a look back in our interview archives as we build and prepare for SACW Fan Fest 4. Tonight, we go back to episode number 143 that aired April 21st, 2024, as myself, Rough Cut Rick Ruby, the Gem City Mouse The Miz, and GQ interviewed one of the great wrestling legends that came out of the Southwest and made his way down to SACW Fan Fest 2. He's none other than the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez. So sit back and enjoy as we bring you a special Best of Falls Count Everywhere podcast interviews coming your way right now. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. In fact, because our upcoming shows reel will be coming on the start of our second half of our show here tonight. Because our first half is going to be dedicated to our upcoming guest here that we're going to be bringing on here in just one short moment as I introduce him, because he's been at least active in the industry for at least 5 decades, if not more. Coming out of the Southwest. Making his name for himself all throughout the NWA, and then later on going to different countries like Puerto Rico and maybe even Canada. But I know he's made his way around and even wrestled as late as 2022 at his age. But right now, he's actually sitting comfortably in his home. And, we're going to talk about everything regarding with our guest here, his entire career. We want to hear some really good stories as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's bring on our featured guest of the evening. That is the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez.
What's up, fellas? Hope y'all having a good evening.
I'm getting attacked by little kittens.
All right.
We're having a great evening.
Yeah,
I had a rough one trying to find y'all.
He hides a lot. That's what the problem is. Ruby hides a lot.
No, I was trying to find this thing on my phone. Like I said before, the phone's smarter than I am.
That happens, my friend. That happens.
Wow.
Well, I must say, though, just kind of break the ice, you got a lovely ceiling. So, I mean,
the trim work is amazing.
There we go.
There we go. Look at that beautiful man.
Oh. See, I can't see myself like I did with her. Last time I could see myself, I just see YouTube. So I didn't know if the phone was upside down, right side up, or...
It's all good, my friend.
It's all the way around is what it is.
Oh, there.
Around. So,
fun again. Yeah.
If you can bring your angle up a little bit here, because your face is kind of cut off. There we go. There you go. Oh, you had it. Up a little bit more. There you go.
Right there.
Well, we'll take that. We'll take that. Thank you, sir. Excellent. So we're gonna kind of change views here as well. We're gonna put you front and center, and well, no, I said me front and center. There we go. Okay. So, so once again, we thank you very much for taking this time to chat with us here. Of course, the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez will be in town in the St. Louis area in about 4 weeks for the big SICW Fan Fest 2, which is going to be a 2-night event. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on in this interview. And in fact, probably toward the end of the interview, because we want to get the scoop here on the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez. And what I'll say, the Bulls was actually one of the guys I grew up watching on TBS in the 80s when it came to the Boogie Woogie Man. And of course, having to deal with Paul Jones, and of course, also his success. We're going to talk a little bit later, not only with Dusty, but also with the ravishing one, Rick Rude. And we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a bit. But I'm going to go ahead and kick things off here for you, Manny. Because first off, like you said, we always like to recognize guys who really make a difference for this country, and that is our military, our first responders, and everything else. And of course, in your younger years, you served your country and fought in the Vietnam War. So, kind of wonder, what branch did you serve? And is there any particular war story or type of situation that you can share with us that stuck with you to help prepare you for what you wanted to pursue after you came back home from the war?
Well, certainly in the Navy, the only experience I got when I got home was people talking crap, and that I keep forever. You know,
Ooh.
it was we weren't welcome home. In other words, that's always stuck with me. So I don't get into that part of my life. It was something,
Okay. Yeah.
I appreciate your opening when you recognize the men and women that serve this country to keep the freedoms of other people that don't even know, that we don't even know, but we fight to keep their freedoms in the world free. And all the men and women serving today, those are the legends in my world. Those are my legends. I'm not a legend compared to them. You know, I got out after my service. There's still people serving. So,
No, sir.
getting back home was a nightmare. That's all I can say, was a nightmare coming home.
Yeah.
Especially when I came home to California in Alameda. And if anybody knows anything about the California back when the Vietnam War was, all those idiots protesting there, it was kind of not even a homecoming.
Yeah. Yeah. Reading through history, I know that it's not been not really a great experience with that, but of course, at least anybody that tries to fight to keep our freedoms and the way that we live, so we're not so confined or any other type of rule that's beyond us, is definitely, we'd like to recognize those individuals that really put themselves in front of us. So, but we definitely do honor and appreciate you. And at least I thank you for your service. And like I said, I'm sorry you had to come home to that. And I'll tell you, so many, I'm sorry, it's just me personally. I just hear too many weird things about California, but that's just me.
No, it's not just you. No, it's not just you. Even though I was born in Texas, I got raised in California, and I've hated that state ever since. So,
Yeah.
I'm in California. Every time I go there, I get in trouble. There's something about California I can't stand, so I stay out of there. I stay far away from California.
Yeah, but people ask me, what I don't like about it. I'm like, well, how long do you got? I mean, did you pack a lunch? Did you gonna order it
Amen to
DoorDash
that.
for supper? I mean, how long you
Amen
got?
to that.
So I guess that was I guess I took that first question here, and I just wanted to kind of see, but obviously, that's not a good time. But we're going to move on to something better here. I'm sure Zach has got something a lot more better.
Yeah,
than
we go from the despise of California to before you getting into wrestling. One of your big passions was the world of football and in the contact sport that is football. Going through college, NFL, and all this. Give us a navigation of that time when you were in the football world, and then what actually made you want to step out of the football world and join the world of professional wrestling.
Well, football was my mom taught me how to play football. She got down to 3-point stance and knocked the crap out of me. Almost made me cry. She hit me so damn. My mom was a hell of an athlete. My mom was a 3-star athlete in that started high school in El Paso, Texas, where I was born. She knocked the crap out of me, man. I almost started crying. She said, "You cry like that, you'll never play this game." And after that, I never cried, and I played football. And I call it legal mayhem because, I was raised with 8 brothers and sisters. We got into fights all the time. Well, football was an escape from my getting beat up by my 5 older sisters. So I got to go out on the football field and hit people and not get in trouble for it. So that was my biggest escape. I love football, man. Football got me a lot. And when I came back from the service, I think football for getting my life back on track. It took me a while. And get my life back on track, get my life back in order after Vietnam. But football was one of the big reasons I got my life turned around, sort of, kind of. I was still kind of look crazy and fight all the time, but I got my life turned around because of football. Went back to football, ended up in a place called West Texas State. My mom got me there too. She found out about a coach who recruited me when I was in high school, and he was coaching at West Texas State. I never heard of. I heard of all the colleges that recruited me out of high school, all the Pac-12 schools, Pac-10 schools back then, all the Pac-10 schools back then, but never heard of a place called West Texas State. Well, when I got there, I found out a lot about West Texas State and a bunch of crazy guys running around being pro wrestlers. It took a liking to me for whatever reason, especially the Punks and Dickie Murdoch and Big Black Jack Mulligan. They were all ex-West Texas State guys. I didn't know that. I wasn't into pro wrestling. I wrestled since I was 8 years old when I was junior high and high school and all that. Freestyle, folk style wrestling, they call it. I wrestled on that. That's the only wrestling I ever knew. And I got to West Texas State playing football, and some guy named Murdoch, Dickie Murdoch, I was nuts because I was always getting fights in the middle of the football field, punching people in the helmet. And he used to ask me, "Are you stupid?" "What do you mean not?" But I'd get mad and go, "What do you mean by that?" He goes, "What are you hitting people with helmets on for?" You go around punching people with helmets on. You think that hurts them?
You hit them hard enough, it would. I mean, and you were trying. So let's move on now, since you brought up like Murdoch and them. We're at the point where football is done, and you're looking for your next adventure. Since you found all of them that were within that down there in Texas with the wrestling and everything, how did you start your journey into getting involved in the business? Like, who were your trainers, and any interesting stories about getting ready to start your career?
Well, first of all, I was never interested in pro wrestling. Second of all, the way I got involved was totally out of mistake. I was just running along. We were used to report to two-a-days at West Texas State. And one of our deals was for all the offensive linemen, we'd have to run up to Buffalo Bowl, and it went right through a place called the Double Cross Ranch. The Double Cross Ranch, and I didn't know it was owned by Terry Funk. I didn't know who Terry Funk was. Kelly Kaninsky's dad, Gene Kaninsky, apparently was a big world champion in the business. So we were all running up there, and Terry Funk was on horseback, and he kept riding up and down, laughing at us, yelling at us, "Run, you fat man, run, get up that hill." And I said, "F you, dude." And Kelly Kaninsky almost had a heart attack. "Oh my God, "Oh my God, don't say that! Don't you know what that is?" I said, "I don't know who the damn he is, and I don't care. He can go f himself."
My dude, yes.
And of course, Kelly Kaninsky had a big mouth, and all that stuff got back to Funk and Murdoch and them. So they decided they wanted to meet me. So that friendship just grew because they took me everywhere. I never asked to go. I didn't want, but they took me everywhere. They'd have matches in Lubbock and Amarillo and Odessa. And I'm like, dude, I have curfew. She goes, don't worry about it. We contribute to West Texas State. We'll take care of that. You just coming with us. So I was on road trips with pro wrestlers when I was a junior at West Texas State. And they would they would make me do the driving while they did all the drinking and getting drunk. I was like, damn, I'm somebody's butler. I go, I'm the chauffeur of butlers. I'm like,
The Butler
that's
Bull.
that's how I got acquainted. These guys loved me. They took very good care of me when I was in college. I mean, I wanted for nothing in college. Everybody would just hang around me because these guys loved me and took me everywhere. But I never asked them about it. And, I didn't make it on it. I tried out with the Kansas City Chiefs. Was on the taxi squad and wasn't do that. And of course, I wrestled unattached. I wrestled all my life. I love wrestling, folk style wrestling. And Chavo Guerrero, you know him. He's a great wrestler in the family, great family. Coached me at a Olympic style freestyle meet, and I won the title there. So the guys, Funk and all them go, damn, that guy won the damn freestyle, 190 championship. So Chavo Guerrero coached me, and I got back, and they just, I don't know, they just took me under the wing, and from there, after I got released by the Chiefs, the rest was history. They just took me in, and I think the greatest compliment I ever got when I was training was Jack Briscoe. Jack Briscoe was a two-time national collegiate champion at Oklahoma State, and great wrestler of all time. They asked him about me. He goes, "Well, that kid's natural. You got nothing to worry about him. He's a natural." So, I was very fortunate that I had some of the greatest. I don't. I didn't do nothing myself. I owed it all to them. All to them that taught me, all believed in me. They rode me around. They drove me nuts. I was their chauffeur. I was their butler. I was their gopher. Go get this kid. Go get this kid. I was everything, but I loved it. I had something, and I'll cherish the rest of my life to the day I die. These guys just took very good care of me, and if you want to name names, they're the greatest that ever lived. you know, these guys are bar none the greatest. In my book, are the greatest that ever lived, and they're the ones that taught me everything. And I just sponged off of them and carried on with my career because of them.
The crazy thing is we we actually got to see one of those greats kids just this past 2 weeks ago finish his story and complete his story while you're starting your story, traveling up and down the roads with the one great dream, Dusty Rhodes. So during your guys' travels, you guys actually managed to pick up some tag team title gold, and this being your first. Give us a little rundown of how the traveling with him and learning from Dusty was, and then getting to win them first tag team titles meant to you.
Okay, let's get one thing straight. I was warned about the fat man. that, that was Terry Funk's description of him. When I went to Florida after I started the business, they sent me to the best territory to learn under the tutelage of Eddie Graham, another great promoter. Yes. And Dusty and Jerry Briscoe. Jerry and Jack Briscoe were there. And they wanted me to go away from where I started the first 8 months of the business in Amarillo. They wanted me to get away and send me somewhere where I could learn. And I was warned. about the Fat Man by Terry Funk. And yes, when I got there, with Dusty and everything, he took me under his wing. I never traveled with Dusty. Never trusted Dusty that way. I respected him, but I always paid attention to what Terry Funk told me. Dusty was for Dusty. Yeah, it was no. I respected him. I wouldn't travel. He used to get mad at me because I would not hang out with him. I'd go hang out with the underneath guys like Denny Brown, and Mike Davis, Hector Guerrero, all the guys who were down card of me
Hector.
because they were so cool. They were so cool. I mean, that was me. That was, I was handed this business. I didn't, Hector was born into it. Denny Brown fought to get into it. All those guys, these guys handed me the business and they took good care of me. So I never, you know, turned my back on the people that started me. And every advice that they gave me, I kept to heart. I took to heart and I kept it with me. Dusty and I honestly had a love hate relationship because I still was a wild guy with this anger inside that later on, whatever the VA said I had PTSD, I had all this anger still. So I still go out every night and get in massive fights in the bars. Hell, I had a massive fight in Tampa, Florida, in a bar with Harley Race one time. We cleaned out the bar, and all that stuff would get back to Dusty, and Dusty get mad at me and yell at me, and Dusty get on the phone to Terry, or if Terry was in the territory when he came in to work with me, he'd get on the phone and say he's doing it again, got another big fight. So I was always in the doghouse, and Terry'd always be the one that got called and said, Manny's at it again, and blah, 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 blah. I had that love hate relationship. And there at the end, where I just got sick and tired of Dusty's ego and walked away from the business and signed a big deal with Japan and stayed with Japan instead of coming back to WCW, because I just had enough of Dusty. We got, it was a fallout there, but, I always still respected him. But I would never I didn't go up and down the road my rookie year with Dusty Rhodes. No, I went up and down the road and learned all my lessons from two guys that I admire and love, and to this day will never forget what they did to me, Jack and Jerry Briscoe. They did everything in the world to me when I was a rookie, and I enjoyed every bit of it, and I'll never forget. And it wasn't nice. A lot of it wasn't nice. I don't know how many times I got left on the side of the highway walking a mile or two until they came back to get me. you know, those are the people that drove me around. Steve Kern, Jimmy Garvin, every now and then, but all the time, the whole 2 years I was in Florida, most of my road trips was me, Jack, and Jerry Briscoe. That was all it is. And I learned so much.
That's a card.
So much from them.
That's experiences
the only
you
time,
can't buy nowadays. That's definitely experiences you cannot get nowadays.
Yeah, the only time I went to a road trip with Dusty is second week in the territory. Dusty came and picked me up in my apartment, driving a Rolls Bentley. And when I got to the car, I was like, I know I'm never going to get in this car again.
I think that's probably why a lot of people respected you. You were yourself. You said what you needed to say no matter what. You weren't worried about, a spot here or kissing butt here and everything. You just were yourself, and that's what a lot of people respected about you, I think.
Yes, and it got me in a lot of trouble. I was just me. I fought my way all my life. I paid my dues fighting since I was a kid. Nobody handed me nothing. My mom made me earn everything. My mom was my hero. She taught me everything. She made me earn everything. She put me to work when I was 6 years old, picking apricots in the field. So, I learned all that stuff. So, I was in that, and you took me for what I am, for what I stood for. Besides that, I would do what is worse than getting shot at every single day?
Oh.
Some guy yelling at you? Huh? No, that ain't. What is worse than watching explosions around you? Getting yelled at? Getting some fool try to kick your butt? No.
What about what Herb said here? Asking about about being tickled by a couple guys.
Oh my God, that's one thing that was annoying. That was annoying. I am the ticklish to this day. I am so ticklish when two guys, Bob Hunt Jr. and Dickie Murdoch, always knew about it because I've known him since I was a junior in college. So he found out about it from the rest of the football players. When I used to get mad and yell at the team, they'd all pitch in and tickle me. So they passed that on to Murdoch, Kelly Kaninsky, wise, the talking microphone. He passed it on. So that got on. And oh my God, they tickled me so bad. I'm not embarrassed. They tickled me so in Japan. They had cornered me and tickled me so much I actually pissed myself.
Welcome to the dojo.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think about things and I talk to people like today, right before we got on the deal and I was looking for the podcast. Oh my God, I got to get on the podcast. Everybody's blowing up my phone. All of a sudden, WWE's got an Xbox game and the cover's me and Cena. And all my friends and my nieces and my sisters are all, oh my God, they got you on the cover on the Xbox game. They're making more money. I said, they ain't paying me. They ain't giving me a dime. I may be on the box. I might be on the game fighting Cena, which I'd have no problem beating up, by the way, even at 70 years old. Even at my age, I could still out wrestle his lights out, but I'm going like, well, maybe you ought to give me some money. Hey, I got to do a podcast. Quit blowing my phone up. Yeah, they got me on Xbox. Oh, good for them. Yeah, wrestling has always been what I did for a living. This is what I explained. Terry Funk knew it better than anybody. That's why I loved him so much. Wrestling has been what they gave me to make a living. They gave me this opportunity to make it a living. Football didn't because I got released and I thought I could play 10, 12 years. But no, I wasn't that big. I was 6'2", 270. That's not the big. Back in the 70s, in the early 80s, there were monsters on football teams. There weren't these guys like you got today, mean and quick and mean. But back in then, there were big guys. But I wasn't. They gave me this opportunity to make money. So Terry always knew that wrestling was my living. It wasn't my life. It doesn't matter to me what they do or say about, oh, they got you this kind of big deal. Big deal. I'm always going to be a footprint in pro wrestling. That's just part of life. Thanks to the guys that were fantastic with me and taught me everything I know, it'll always be a footprint because of them, not because of me. That's why it doesn't mean nothing to me when people say, oh, they put you on the bus. Big deal. Big wow. It's like everybody's like, wow, you don't got no pictures of you in your house of you wrestling? I said, no. I got pictures of me playing college football, what's that thing? Me as an amateur wrestler, 2-time state STL champion. Yeah, I got pictures of that. No pro wrestling, no. Ask me where my Hall of Fame plaques is I get from this organization there. They're in my closet. It was my living, not my life. Not my life. My life was the people that put me in this business. They were my life. Those are the people. I didn't see them as wrestlers. I saw them as beautiful people. I saw them as the brothers and sisters. I saw them as the brothers and sisters that served with me in the military, that served with me to protect our country. That's how I saw those guys. That's how they are to me. You're not, oh, that's Terry Funk. Terry Funk was awesome with me. He was, he was like a father to me. Terry always took it. Yeah, he chewed me out. You need to stop fighting all the time. The fat man keeps calling me.
So, we're going to take Dusty out of the picture now. Put him over here and just throw him out of the way for a second. After your tag title run that you had, you moved towards singles competition. What were some of your more enjoyable feuds that you had with in your time in the NWA and AWA, and what were the best matches that you had with them?
Well, if anybody's ever watched me in Wahoo, there's no questions that I could say that about that now, but when I was a rookie, And me and Terry Funk had that match in Orlando, Florida when he dropped the strap. That's one match that I'll never ever. That's the only video match that I watch because Terry put himself on the line for me. Eddie Graham wasn't all fired up about him dropping that strap to a kid that was left. I wasn't even a year in the business, and Terry convinced Eddie and Jerry and Terry, not Dusty as much because Dusty's ego, but they convinced Eddie to go ahead and let me try to carry the strap because of the Latin people in Florida. So, that was one of the greatest matches I had with Terry. Some of the greatest world title matches in the world I had was Harley. But, these matches, these people, oh, geez, I lost my train of thought there. Go back to your question. I got into
Uh,
Terry. I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. You can go on any
Oh,
tangent you
oh
want.
yeah,
We're
the
really
greatest
good with it.
matches. Yeah, but no, is where we had brutal, awesome. I mean, I've been communicating with his daughter, Cindy McDaniel. Me and Wahoo McDaniel started the feud in WCW, and then went to AWA. Oh my God, I love those matches because they were real. We literally beat the hell out of each other. I mean, he gave as good as he got, and I gave as good as I got. But people really thought we hated each other because we literally did beat the hell out of each other, and I kind of enjoyed that. I was, I'd always get in trouble for stiffing people, but I wouldn't bust them open or nothing in the face. And know where the cross was. I was taught early in my career the cross. Don't ever hit the cross. That's down the nose, the both eyes, and the mouth. The cross. So but I did the back and the chest, and if you couldn't take one of my big forearms or backhands to the chest, big deal. Then get out of the business. And that's what I expected from Wahoo. But some of the greatest matches I remember, especially those strap matches. I used to love for him to beat me with those strap matches. Wahoo McDaniel, man, toughness is one of the best. I think the greatest native.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uno momento, everybody.
did we lose a connection?
Sorry, everyone.
It's not on our end. Definitely not.
No, it's not on our end.
I know. I was looking at the signals and everything from it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we'll wait here for just a moment or so for Manny to come back. Hopefully, he comes back. Or let's see. It should be. I don't know. I wonder if I should do like a system help to boot him out so he can come back in.
Try give him a buzz.
Okay. Yeah. Let me remove everything else. Just make sure he's. We'll give him about a minute to get things. Because I don't know if he realized he jumped off yet or not. So I'll probably give him about a minute.
The one thing it could have been is if he hit a button by mistake and it got off the screen.
Phone call. I guarantee you got a phone call.
Yep.
Well,
probably somebody asking, "How's the podcast going?" It's going great. Here he is.
There we
go. What happened, guys?
You
lost connection. And, oh my! You know what?
Yeah.
That's what I hate about these phones. Every now and then it does the same thing. It drops the daggone thing. I'll be talking to my sister or something.
Perfect.
Hold on. We're going back again.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. This place, I live in the boonies. Sorry, guys, I live in the boonies, man. I live out here in the sticks, and this happens. When I was talking to my daughter, my new granddaughter, I was making all kinds of goofy signs, blah, 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 and everything died.
Yeah, you just like froze on us for a second there. So before the next question is asked, Herb Simmons brought up another thing to ask you about Brody.
Oh, when I talk to Barbara Goodish, she knows how much her husband meant to me. Everybody in this business, outside of Terry Funk, Brody was, I don't know, man. Brody was like an angel to me. When I was going crazy in San Antonio, when I went to San Antonio for Joe Blanchard, and I was just out of control. I left Florida. Wahoo McDaniels was the booker. He brought me into San Antonio. I left Florida and I came to San Antonio, and it was just a cool place. And met a lot of people, and I just Chavo Guerrero was there, and young Tom Pritchard, Tony Conway Jr. And we just go out, and you got to where I got out of control. I actually was going to bars and just picking on people. Hell, I threw a guy off the damn second floor onto a dance floor in San Antonio just for the hell of it. So, when Brody came in and kind of, West Texas. I don't know what it is about West Texas guys. But Hanson, Brody, Bobby Duncombe, all the big guys from West Texas State, for whatever reason, I guess they got word or something. They took me under their wing and tried to help me out and control me. And Brody was that. He was like an angel. He came in and, I got locked up and thrown in jail a couple of times in San Antonio, and Joe Blanchard was getting upset, getting me out of jail. That's when I threw that guy out the second floor, really. And Brody come in and kind of locked me down and getting me to the gym almost every day, going day at 6 in the morning. I'd be out drinking at 3 in the morning. He'd be pounding on my door at 6 in the morning. Wanted to go to the gym, and I'm like, oh, I can't go to the gym. Get up out of that bed. If you know Brody, you weren't going to argue.
He'd be one of the ones that would put you
argue.
on that bed to take you to the gym as you were right then.
As I were, he didn't care. And I'd go to the gym all hungover and stuff, but he just treated me. When San Antonio had the honor of working him and Bobby Duncombe, him and Sad Hansen, and myself and six man against Tully and Gino and Big Ten Patton and all those. But Brody always took good care of me, and I was very fortunate. My first tour to Japan ever, Murdoch got me my first tour to Japan. I had Brody and Hansen and Murdoch. Man, I thought I was gonna the luckiest guy in the world to have those guys who were over with the Japanese company until I found out what they were gonna do to me. I don't think I ever made it back home standing up. I never got back to the hotel standing up. I didn't know they could drink that much. But no, they taught me. They took me under the wing, and Brody and Hansen were great though, because in Japan, I've never been to Japan, and they have, and they're over big time. And I thought it was just wrestling like wrestling. And the first night I'm in Japan, I'm in a 6-man, me, Brody, and Hansen, and there's Onoki and Baba and Jumbo Teruta, and I'm going out there and I'm wrestling. I'm just wrestling. Woo, woo, woo. All of a sudden, I get my hair pulled by the way. Somebody pulled me by my hair, jerks me in the corner. I go, what the hell? It's Brody and Hansen, and the two words go. They both go. If you don't start kicking these Japanese's ass, we're gonna kick your ass. I said, okay, no problem. after that night, the Japanese gave me a nickname called Cemento. You Cemento. With Cemento in Spanish means cement. Hey, it was either them or Brody or Hansen, so I chose them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Makes sense.
Wow.
Yep.
That is something else. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, once again, yeah. So for those who are, like I said, for those who are watching here, if you have any type of comment or anything here for the Raging Bull, let us know here. Like I said, we're just moseying on here and enjoying our time with them here, and so I've got the next one here. Of course, we're gonna go back to your notable tag team title reigns. Of course, first with Dusty, we've already been that. But then, of course, at least mine that I like, and that I liked seeing you guys in was you and Ravishing Rick Rude having those tag titles, with Paul Jones, and I think you guys might have had them twice. But I know that you guys lost them at the end of May of '87, and
No,
apparently
we never lost the titles. We never lost the titles. No,
you were
no.
stripped.
That, no, we were never stripped. We never lost them. He kept his belt. I kept mine. But we never lost the titles. The one with Dusty, the only reason that ended is because I was getting in too much trouble. So
Oh,
he kind of his ultimatum was either you hang around with the top guys and stop getting in fights, or we'll drop the belts. I said, well, drop the belts. It's like I told Jim Crockett when he got mad at me one day. We were under contract, right? He got mad at me and says, "We could always take the belts." I said, "Go ahead, you still got to pay me."
That's fair.
that's right.
Yeah, hey, I'm under contract. You still got to pay me. Take the belt. I don't care. I never cared. But the only time, look, man, I love Rick Rude. Rick Rude was kind of a younger version of me. When I went and started the business, Murdoch told me one rule: shut up and listen, and you go a long way in this business. And that's what I did. And I asked Rick Rude the first time we got together because I heard all this. He's stiff, he's this, he's that. I said, dude, if you just listen to me, we can do pretty good because Dusty put you with me because we're oddballs. He knows that I can work my pants off and that you're still kind of green and can't really do too much. So he's doing that just to punish me because I got in trouble. I'm in the doghouse. So if you just listen to me, we could do this and get over. And you know what? He never had a problem with that. He listened great. He was a great tag team partner. When he got sick of Dusty's ego, and me and Rick and the Rock and Roll Express drew more money against each other than Dusty could ever do in the Carolinas. And that wasn't sitting well with Dusty. As you know, he always put us underneath him. And Rude had about enough of it. When the day came when he just had enough of Dusty, he came to me and told me that he signed a deal, has a deal with WWE. What do you think? I said, brother, when I started the business, they told me I was in it to make money, and you are in it to make money for you and your family. You do what you got to do. If that's what you got to do, I'm behind you. I said, you gonna leave your belt? He said, no. I said, okay, well, I'm not leaving mine either. So they had that so-called ghost match in Columbia, South Carolina. Anybody knows the business knows we didn't dropping anybody. But that's Dusty's way of getting even with me, and I guess punishing Rude. I don't know. Rude didn't care. I didn't either. So there's you can say what it is about that, but all I know is me and Rick Rude left on the best terms ever. I mean, for him to come to me and tell me what his plans were, that's awesome. He didn't have to do that. There was no commitment for him to do that for me. No, none at all. But he did. He
Yeah.
did. Plus, he was like my what should I call him? Like my second. He would always get mad at me because when we go to Philadelphia and all this, I hang out with all these crazy people. Some people that are connected with people in Philadelphia. I get in fights and stuff, and he get mad. When are you not ever going to get in a fight? When can you stop? You
So
know, we had a great relationship. I will never forget Rudy. I'm sorry he passed on, and I know he's up there probably looking down, but he was a great guy and he was a great partner.
yeah. So I mean, so after he departed, I mean, that kind of left you kind of little in limbo here. So I didn't really see you too much after that tag team run was done. So I mean, did they just not have anything for you to cause you to go somewhere else,
No,
and then
yeah,
or
that's when I told you I signed with Japan. I
oh
signed with Japan.
Japan?
I didn't
That's
want
right.
to,
Yeah.
yeah. I signed a good deal with Japan, and I had 36 weeks in Japan. something like that, 26, and making $3 grand a week. I didn't care about Dusty's ego anymore. I had enough. I didn't
Right.
care if they could buy me in or not. I was just like I told him before. We could always take the belt, so take the belt. We could do. We're not going to use you. Well, you still got to pay me. I'm under contract.
Right.
I stay home. I'll stay home. It don't bother me. But I didn't. I went to Hawaii. I went to Hawaii, and Baba saw me, and Baba was in Hawaii, and that's when New Japan, Old Japan had broke up, and I was in Hawaii with my wife, and Baba saw me at the restaurant, and he sent over one of his stooges to talk to me, and I went over, and Baba asked me about coming back to Japan. I said, well, I haven't been back for a while since Murdoch and them, and he said, well, I'd like to come back, and I said, sure. He put down a note, a piece of paper, and wrote what he'd give me. I said, that sounds great to me. Let's do this thing. So that I enjoyed going there because I not only I got Japan, I got to spend time in Russia. I got to go there with Brad Rankins, who was a world champion, would have won Olympic gold in 1980. So me and Brad Rankins got to work out with the two-time Olympic Russian champion, six-time world champion, Hashimikov and Sangiov. So I got to do a lot of things in Russia. And I got to make those guys be my friends. They were crazy. I had them going nuts. I had getting them drunk and stuff. I had a great time in Russia, man. The Japanese took real good care of me because of Brody and Hanson and Murdoch. I was very well taken. They had trips all over Puerto Rico and where else? I just went everywhere because of Japan. So it wasn't a big deal that boom. I even did a little time in Memphis for Lawler and Jerry Jarrett, but that was when I found out they stiffed me on my pay. It wasn't good news for Lawler and Jarrett. I locked them in the room and threatened to, until I got my money.
And I bet you
Ricky
got
Morton
every
asked,
cent of it too.
hey, hey, you got to ask Ricky Morton tell that story. So funny. Ricky Morton told that story because he told everybody after I had left, got my money and left, the riot squad came down into the locker room, all gear, all riot gear and stuff. And Ricky Morton said he started laughing and looked at him. The guy goes, "It's so funny." He goes, "All you guys for that one man." He goes, "He's gone. Y'all missed him."
Wow.
Yeah, I've had some great time pro wrestling, with some very beautiful Ricky Morton. I love him to death. I've known him for 50 years.
Ricky's a good dude.
He's been through a lot. Yeah, he's seen a lot of me. I can tell you a lot. Ricky's been around a lot of my little ventures, but he is a beautiful man, beautiful person, man. Ricky,
Oh,
we go a long ways. We go a long ways, but I
yeah.
lost one of my greatest, dearest friends of all time a couple months ago. When we buried Terry, but and there was nothing. And then of course Brody, what happened to Brody? So I've lost some very wonderful people, Murdoch and Terry and Brody and some other people that I love. Dennis Stamp guys that grew me up when I was a green kid, took good care of me. Jack Briscoe, and what these young guys today don't understand is the knowledge that these men gave me is priceless. The knowledge that makes me live every day of my life fully is priceless. It's priceless. You'll never get that the rest of your life. You guys will never understand that. Never.
Well, since you actually brought up some of like today's wrestlers and everything, today's wrestling has progressed in a different light than the era that you were telling with the territories in the '80s and everything. One aspect that's not done in the ring as much is the storytelling. Explain how important of an aspect storytelling is and why matches would fail without it. Try to give some advice to
Yeah,
the
well,
upcomers.
the greatest line I ever told is when I sat down with Harley Race one day, right before the first time we had the title match, the world title match, when everybody surprised me that I was going. I've always gone 20, 25 minutes, 30-minute matches, when I was young. And then everybody came to me and asked me how soon. Jack and Jerry and Eddie Graham goes, "How you doing? Doing okay? A little nervous, the world champion." Otherwise goes, "That's okay. You're going an hour with them." I go, "What? An hour? Are you nuts? Are you crazy? We're not really doing that, are we?" They go, "Yeah, you're going an hour with the world champion." And I was so scared. Hardy sat down next to me and started to talk to me. He told me this. He goes, "Don't worry, kid. Just relax. I'm like the puppet master. All I'm going to do is go out there and pull the people's strings. I will make them dance like a puppet master. I'm in control of the strings. You just follow, and this will be a night off." So I remember, and it was. We went an hour, and I wasn't even breathing hard. It was a night off. I mean, you can't tell stories like that. You got to know what you're doing. He was one of the best ever to control the people, make them stand up, sit down, yell, scream, go silent, start crying. I mean, never seen anybody do it like that, but he did. He was the puppet master, and that's what these people don't get. When they understand for a puppet to dance, somebody's got to pull the strings, and somebody's got to follow. And all these guys are about, "I got to get my shit in." I'll never forget one night in an independent show, some kid told me that about 10 years ago. He says, "Well, I got to get my shit in." I said, "Oh, yeah, you're going to get your shit in, all right."
And we know how that went there. So,
Yeah, I pulled the Luthez on him. You know how Luthez used to handle people?
mm-hmm.
Luthez he handled me very nicely when he was 70 something years old. So, and he taught me real well.
So you stayed active
Yeah.
all the way up till the 2013. Stayed active and stayed going through there. You decided then to retire and put the boots away in 2013. 3.5 years later, you come back. What made that decision, and what type of uh, shape did you have to get into to stay in and come back at such a late time in your career?
I don't know. I just got the bug, was bored. You know, you get bored. You get bored and sometimes, and, it's just not something that, you get the bug. And as like Terry says, you'll never get out of it, kid. You never get out of it, kid. You'll always have that bug. Well, he's kind of right. In fact, hey, here I got the bug again, and I'm scheduled to do a match on June 15th in South Carolina. And basically, because my daughter talked me into it, she wants my grandchildren to see her grandpappy. Yeah, but I've been working out real hard. I've been running, doing anywhere between 6, 7 miles a day, every day for the last 6 months. I'm in great shape. I've got had all the surgeries done, thanks to the VA. Had both knees replaced, both hips replaced, both eyeballs replaced, my neck done. I don't know when they're going to do my back. I'd say I'm 75% titanium. I should be all right.
Before we go on to the last question, though, her brings up a name that I like now even more in the business, because my first time doing a podcast with Mr. Ruby and them, this man told me to get out, and why am I even starting this venture down the wrestling world hole? So I need to ask you about Mr. Ron Powers himself. What is your take on the
Oh,
man?
Ron Powers. I met him a long time ago. Ron Powers came to when I was running Global Wrestling Federation. He was a great kid, had a great look, real respectful. He reminded me of the guys in the old days who respected the old timers. Had nothing but respect for the old timers. Just sat down and listened. He would listen. He wasn't this young punk big kid. Big kid, massive kid. He didn't sit down there and try to be all like, "Oh, I know what I'm doing. You don't got to tell me, you old timer." No, he just sat down and listened, took in everything I taught him, and he's just been a great person. I haven't got to see him that often. Last time thanks to Herb Simmons, I got to see him, spend a little time with him. I know he's got a family and proud of him, and he's just a great kid. I mean, I'll always have I'll always have a lot of respect for Ron because when he came to me with Butch Reed, like Butch did, they just listened to me and did their job. And that's a hard thing to find nowadays. Guys
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Amen to that.
Man, yeah. So, and Ron, I know doesn't take any bull either. No pun intended. And it's either you're on a good
Oh,
side with the guy or you're not. So,
yep.
I,
Well, have you seen that video of JBL and Ron Simmons talking to Teddy Long about me and Butch Reed when Ron was in in the town too, but he didn't go out with us. But have you seen that video of JBL talking about what we did, me and Butch Reed did at Hooters that night? You'll get a big laugh out of that. You get a big laugh out of that one. Bouncers were going out the window as fast as they were moved. but Butch Reed was no pushover neither.
no, no, he wasn't.
Nope.
No, no, I at least in the early part of my career, I got a chance to share the ring with Butch Reed, being in a match with him, and I was only toward the end of my second year in the business, and that was pretty cool. Um, so yeah, he was pretty fun to work. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so so we're going to we're getting toward the end. I know of our time with you here, but we're going to once again stress that you will be at the SICW Fan Fest once again. That is May 17th and May 18th. Like a lot of things are coming up here. Like May 17th is mainly there for the Bill Apter one man show. May 18th is basically the big thing here. This is where we got about close to 60 legends and stars that have been in this industry that's built it up, where people reflect back on today. What is the foundation of professional wrestling? And of course, we're getting more names that are announced, like Ross Hart confirmed that he's going to be returning again this year. That was announced earlier today. Like I said, we just got a lot of guys are going to be here. So, what are you looking forward to once you come down here? What are you looking forward to on a part of that 2 day extravaganza, and what involvement will you have that the fans can look forward to?
Well, it's good to see all the fans, but all the people that I rarely get to see anymore. I haven't seen Jerry since this past August, the convention in Charlotte, and Steve Kern, and of course a lot of the guys that I ran up and down the road when I was a rookie with. I enjoy seeing them because we are getting older. We are getting older, and the older generations slowly dying off. So it is an honor to be around them, and it's an honor to share the stories of the old days with one another and the things we did to each other. I'm doing. Herb Simmons has always been a great guy. He took good care of me there before. And hopefully, me and Herb can keep doing things together. We got things. He's got things coming up, but it's just exciting to see the people. Barbara Goodish, I'll always enjoy being around Barbara. I have a lot of love and respect for Barbara, and she has the same. So, be good things, good bands. I'm inviting some people are coming in from uh, the Carolinas that were at the convention in Charlotte. They want to come down and hang out because when they hung out with me in Charlotte, we had so much fun. They can't forget the fun we had drinking and telling stories and treating the fans like they are. If it wasn't for the fans, we'd be nobody. Number one, we'd be nothing. It's a them that spend their hard-earned money, to come see us and put us on their pedestal. So it's. I always enjoy being around the fans and having fun with them. And when we had the Q&A, I drove everybody crazy, had everybody laughing. So it's just being around the people and seeing the people that I met in Charlotte or driving down, some from West Virginia, some from Charlotte and Virginia, North Carolina, Virginia, to come down to visit the people in St. Louis. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great time.
Oh yeah, because I still got images in my mind here from last year when just out from our table, at the end of the night, we got JBL sitting there with Gerald Briscoe, and then of course with Haku, and then gosh, who else is in that circle? But it's just the guys are just sitting there just bantering and talking as the night was going on with the cart going inside the ballroom. They were just sitting outside, just having a good old time, just talking. And like I say, uh, I'm pretty sure we're going to see something like that. Um, probably, I would definitely say that it's going to be happening for this Fan Fest coming up on SICW Fan Fest 2. There we go, Dave. Get it out. So, you know, um, but no, we're going to be there. But I know I'm probably calling a little bit of an audible here because I want to get a really good, like I said, I know you've had other stories here, but um, what is probably one of your most because I know back in earlier days, I mean, guys used to razz each other, prank each other, whatever. So, is there any type of story that you could tell that is is not really too intense, but I mean, has anybody played a prank on you, or you played a prank on anybody else uh, on the road, trying to ease the tension here with travels? I mean, any good road story there?
They prank me all the time on the road. I just told you about the Briscoes. We'd go outside. The Briscoes love that marijuana. We used to smoke them at Cheech and Chong joints, big old rolled up Cheech and Chong joints. And that's one thing I could never do. And they had that Lincoln Continental Bill Blast. They'd lock all the windows and smoke it up and drive me nuts in the back. Oh my God.
Yeah, happy little
George
trees.
behind me, and just boom, and they would blow it up, and then they'd get out, and all it looked like the daggone movie Up in Smoke because we didn't get out to piss, and all the smoke would come out of the damn car, man. And they'd be laughing their butt off, and I'd be standing out there going like, "Oh my God, that's nasty," and not knowing that they're pissing down the side of my legs. One's pissing on my right leg, and the other one's pissing on my left leg. That's what I mean. All these fun things that they did back in the day, there were great ribs on the boys. You couldn't do that today. Somebody, oh, I'm gonna go tell Vince. I'm gonna call the cops on you. Stuff that was it was weird, but it was funny. You're like, oh shit. You're standing
It
out
was
there
weird, but it was
getting
funny.
a you're drinking beer, you got your little high, and all of a sudden you're like, oh damn, you pissing on my leg.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's so many things that we did. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. Those are fun days. Traveling up and down the road, pulling ribs on each other, driving around, passing up the other guy. That somebody got enough beer to last till the morning, and the other guy got a little beer and ran out and run up on the other guy driving by. Hey, you got any beer left? You'd be going 90 miles an hour, handing beer out the window to the other car.
90
This is
miles
why
an
I'm
Yeah,
Sonny
man.
rules.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
uh,
nuts. Oh,
yeah. People
holy.
don't know what they're missing. I'll tell you that right now. They don't know what they're missing.
No, that's all right. I got enough of my own my road adventures in my early years toward the end of the '90s. So I mean, at least I got somewhat of a taste of some road redemption, and I've already had enough of my drunk episodes, and that's that. So I've already
I
had
want to
enough of
smoke
Yeah.
with the Briscoes. That's what I want to do.
that. You you know, you
I
didn't
had
know.
I had Daryl sitting right next to me that whole time last year at the Fan Fest, and him and I could have been sharing something. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, no,
we
you're sitting down
were
with
at
him. You
the
could, wow.
we were at the damn convention in August in Charlotte, and they got this. I thought it was a vape pipe. Little did I know when they breathed out, I'm going like, oh damn.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh, that's some good stuff.
yeah,
Oh
those,
man.
those are my brothers, man. Those are the brothers I'll have for life. Those are my brothers. They're like my brothers that serve with me. They're for life. These are my brothers for life, no matter what.
I feel that way about Ruby, so I understand that. I understand that 100%. GQ the same way. Like,
Oh man, no, that's funny though. We get too liberated to know that you're actually relieving yourself on somebody. They don't care. That oh
It's
my
'cause
lord.
you're too drunk. You're too drunk to realize it until you feel the wet. You start feeling the wet going down your leg, going like, "What the hell?"
On both sides.
Yeah, but if you think about it, do you think they didn't know, or do you think they were ribbing you at the process and doing it on purpose?
That's part of ribbing the young guy. That was part of ribbing the young guy. That was it. That's part of when you were back in the day. If you were a green kid learning the business, they had no mercy.
Yeah, all I gotta say is hopefully you weren't wearing socks that day. So I mean,
just kick it off. Just flake it off.
Oh my gosh, man, that is fantastic. So, man, well, like I said, I mean, we could talk more here, and I know that it's your time is valuable, and but we will definitely catch up here. Like I said, we're going to be at here as well. I mean, we're going to be mainly there on Saturday, but we always invite everybody just to come and walk up, and just kind of greet us. Say hi, and like I said, we'll be there out in the open. We'll be doing a live broadcast that starting late morning, going into mid afternoon on Saturday the 18th, and we love to have anybody that's coming down just to stop by and say hi at our booth. And yeah, I mean, we're just, like I said, we're excited to see. I'm excited to see a lot of people there. Especially,
I can't wait for it again. It was a fun time last year. It's gonna be a blast this year.
You guys kept me up past my bedtime.
Sorry, Mr. Manny.
Now you guys, I'm gonna have to punish you guys.
Well, according to GQ, I was supposed to get smacked by a big Texan, but I'll take a chow from you instead.
Why not both?
Yeah.
Whatever, GQ. I'll take my lickings if I want to be in this business still. I'll take my lickings.
Yeah. But Manny, I appreciate you joining us here tonight. And once again, we'll see you. Once again, it's the SICW Fan Fest 2, May 17th and 18th. Make sure you're stopping by to see the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez on Saturday. And like I said, make sure you go to sicw.org in regards to your passes, and also to still make hotel reservations. So make sure you're on that sicw.org for that. So Manny, it's been a pleasure, sir. We do appreciate you coming on here tonight. And we thank you, and we'll see you here in about 4 weeks, huh?
All right, buddy. Y'all take care. Good night.
You go tuck into bed, bud.
Thank you very much, Manny. Thanks to everyone tuning in to tonight's episode of the Best of Falls Count Everywhere podcast. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe to all of our social media, and stay tuned to our Facebook page for announcements on our next show. All of you have a great week, and we'll see you here next Sunday at 9 p.m. Central. This is Rough Cut Rick Ruby signing off. Good night.